Income Tax Department has charged 6 members of Lalu Yadav's family, including his wife Rabri Devi, daughter Misa Bharti and son Tejashwi, with corruption under what's described as a very tough Benami Transactions Act. Now, Rabri Devi is the former Chief Minister, Misa is a Member of Parliament and Tejashwi Yadav is the Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar. The Tax Department is investigating allegations of corrupt land deals worth 1,000 crores in tax evasion against the Yadav family. Benami properties, of course, are those purchased in the name of others to conceal who really owns them. Violation of this act can mean rigorous imprisonment, we're told, of up to 7 years and a hefty fine as well.
कोई सच के आधार पर, सत्यता के आधार पर बातें होनी चाहिए। लगातार कोई आदमी, कोई जिसका अस्तित्व नहीं है, वो आरोप लगा देता है, झूठ का अफवाह फैला देता है, और उस चीज को अगर आप लोग आकर के बार बार सफाई लेने आएगा, किस बात का हम सफाई दे भाई? बार बार मेरी जिम्मेवारी बनेगी कि हर बात हम सफाई देते रहे, झूठी बातों पे हम सफाई देते रहे। जब्त हुई है, कौन सी जब्त हुई है, क्या डॉक्यूमेंट है आपके पास, क्या नोटिस है? और हमको तो समझ भी नहीं आता किस प्रकार के सूत्र हैं आपके। हमको नोटिस नहीं आता, लेकिन आप लोगों को हवा में पता नहीं कहां से बात पता चल जाता नोटिस आने की।
Hawa mein baat, just talking there when there is no substantive proof with what they have. That, of course, is what we just heard we say. But where does the truth lie? That is still the big question. Let me introduce my panel right away. Sanjay Hegde, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, with us. Aarti Jairat, Senior Journalist, with me here in the Delhi studio. There's also Tehseen Poonawala, entrepreneur and political analyst, with us, as is Rakesh Sinha of the IRSS, who is going to be joining us in just a bit. Tehseen Poonawala, let me start by asking you, as someone who knows, described himself as someone who knows Lalu Yadav well, for all this talk of political vendetta, there are many asking that why don't we see a point rebuttal of all the charges that are being made? These are very serious charges, property of up to 1,000 crores. Where has it come from? But we don't see that. Instead, we sort of see only talk of political vendetta, and that's about it. Tehseen, can you hear me? Well, let's see if we can establish that once again and go back to him. But let me put that to you, Aarti. Is that very convenient, really, an escape that politicians have? Because that's all that we hear. That's in the soundbite that we just played out. That's all that we hear, that you know where to prove, but this is it. They're just going after us. But we don't have a sort of point-by-point rebuttal that this is what they're finding, but this is how we got it. This is wrong because we can prove this. There's none of that.
Absolutely. And also, I think Misa and her husband have not answered summons from the IT department, although they were asked to appear. So, you know, I mean, it's very easy to hide behind this, you know, sort of fig leaf of political vendetta and so on and so forth. But yes, I think we need some answers from the Yadav family. And, you know, this is not the first time. I mean, there have been other charges against them, you know, other corruption charges you know, and I think now the pressure is mounting on Nitish, really. You know, what does he do about these mounting corruption charges against his ally? Tejashwi is his Deputy Chief Minister. Can he afford to keep turning a blind eye to, you know, this stuff that is piling up? And, you know, maybe he needs to ask them some questions and ask them to make a statement. You know, if they have evidence to defend themselves,
then put it out there now.
Put it out there now. And I think Nitish needs to take a firm stand on this.
Okay. We're going to get into that, the Nitish angle, and just what he can do in just a bit, the kind of pressure this puts on him. But Tehseen Poonawala, I'm told that that audio line to you is now fixed. I was trying to ask you earlier that isn't it better if, you know, all those politicians like Lalu Yadav, who find themselves in the dock for a whole host of reasons, instead of just crying political vendetta, also prove why they believe that this is unfair and all that they are facing, they're calling it harassment, is unfair. We don't hear that. All we hear is, you know, they're going after us and this is the price that you're paying, you know, when there's such a strong government at the center, but no real response on those charges.
No, see, there are a couple of things, Natasha, that I want to say, and much before all of this started, about a month before all of this started, I was the first one to tweet, and I spoke to Tejashwi Yadav about it, that the government, and I had my sources in Prime Minister's office who said Laluji would be targeted, and I spoke to Tejashwi about it. And the reason is this, that Laluji is becoming the fulcrum and the center of the anti-BJP movement. Laluji is also the one politician who's never gone with the BJP, unlike other political parties. Laluji in the Congress, unlike them, everyone else has at some point flirted with the BJP. So Laluji has to be targeted by Modi simply to weaken him so that this anti-BJP alliance breaks down. And this is something much before it started. You have a rival channel that has started which claims a high viewership but is actually quite a BJP propagandist channel that's launched itself by attacking Laluji. These stories were given to that channel by the Prime Minister's office and by another very prominent leader.
Okay.
I am on record saying, and I would repeat, I dare the Prime Minister's office to take action against me. All of this is being done as vendetta against Misa, against Tejashwi, against Laluji, only to break this anti-BJP alliance that is coming up.
All right, you made that point. Okay, Lesine, I just need to interrupt you there because I just need to interrupt you there and just try and take you back to my question. I see what you're saying. This is what we've heard Mr. Yadav say in the past. We've heard his family say that again today. But my question to you is, instead of just saying political vendetta and say that, you know, they are being hounded and they are being targeted, how can he explain this property that has been found? How can he explain all the evidence that is now mounting? I mean, just look at it, 1,000 crores property worth that much. How do you count for it? That's all. Wouldn't it be easier to come out and explain how the family's got it?
1,000 crores by whose valuation? See, today's property, I'll study that and I can come back to you. But the earlier case, which is on Misa's husband's property, I have all the clarifications on that. Nor was the property bought at the rate this news channel claimed it was bought at. Nor was the property valued today at the rate the newspaper claimed that it is being valued at, or the income tax is being valued at. I think there was one simple question Misa's husband put out, and I'll like to put out. Since you all are saying these properties are valued at 1,000 crores, why doesn't the government of India buy it at 500 crores? Buy it and show. Sell it in the open market for 500 crores. These selective leads by the income tax.
You're questioning the valuation. This is not about any channel, of course. This is what the agencies are saying.
Crores makes absolutely.
Okay. Okay, Sanjay Hegde, come in at this point. You know, we constantly sort of hear this, irrespective, Sanjay Hegde, of who is in power. One constantly hears this, that, you know, agencies are being used to sell political scores, to settle political scores. And at the end of that, we just get trapped in endless litigation and never really find out just what happened here. Is there a fear that that could happen once again?
Well, that often happens, and that happens thanks to us lawyers and accountants. And the problem also is that when a senior politician's case goes to court, it almost inevitably takes a lot of time, because at every stage of the matter it is fought out. Having said that, let me put it this way, there is truth on both sides. You please take almost any politician today, they will have assets which have been generated over the years, which are actually a store of money to be used in politics later. Whenever a politician's money is targeted by the party at the center, there will be all these enforcement directorate inquiries, there will be Prevention of Corruption Act. There used to be an earlier consensus in an earlier and gentler India where parties would change power, nobody would be prosecuted. Now that is changing. I am pretty sure that what is going to happen is that the storage of money is going to get more and more sophisticated. You will have investments in companies, you will have investments hiding behind shell companies. These appear to be somewhat like those old transactions where yes, it will get definitely tougher to track down. Right. These seem to be like those old transactions which have been simply invested in property and not
if there is truth in them, like
shrouded enough.
The agencies are saying. Okay, fair enough. Well, we're now joined by Rakesh Sinha as well. We know that Lalu Yadav and the RSS, there's no love lost there. But Mr. Sinha, thanks for taking our time to be with us on the program. Now, we are hearing. We haven't heard Mr. Lalu Yadav today, but we've heard from his family, and they're saying it's nothing but political vendetta.
Okay, you can move.
This is being used to settle scores.
No, earlier you just see that he directly attacked the press. Virtually, I say violent attack on the press. For the first time, I have seen that a national politician is threatening press in public. So, I don't think so that there should be any sympathy for Lalu Yadav. I am surprised that there are elements in this country, I have all respect to such elements, they traditionally respect Lalu Yadav. Reason for that, he has stopped LK Advani's Rath Yatra. So, this should not be a cause that a secularist thief and a communal thief. So, you are dividing, making a division, witch hunting, or you are targeting Lalu Yadav, this is vendetta. Look, see the track record of Lalu Yadav, he has been amassing the money. He accepted, his family accepts that, distributing the tickets, giving the portfolio of the ministership. So, his partner JDU itself has make a distance from Lalu Yadav. Second most important thing is that for the last 30 years, the track record of Lalu Yadav has been the record of corruption. He has been in jail, he is supposed to go jail in future, and all the political parties just see that he is a secular masiha. Okay. So, we as far as corruption as far corruption is concerned, we should particularly for those who are in public life, not a political party activist, they should be at least honest attacking those people who are involved in corruption, degrading the public life.
Let me just add this. Let me just ask one question and a quick response to that, sir. Which is, I'm just going to get you in, but a quick response to that, sir. Which is it a coincidence that those who find themselves in a spot of bother, or perhaps a bit more today, seem to be political opponents of the present dispensation?
No, I think those who were protected and patronized because political dispensation needed their help, now they are being uncovered. If it may be coincidence, it may not be coincidence, the question is an empirical question, it is not a normative. It is an empirical fact that there is a rate, there is substantive things are being found, there are charges, these charges are not the empty charges, and track record of Lalu Yadav, the fodder scam. Nobody can protect Lalu Yadav that he is a clean politician. Just because he has given a slogan of...
Because he has that shadow on him doesn't mean we can't pronounce him guilty here. Just
you go Bihar, few days ago, the way he threatened the media persons in public, that is really not really...
So that could lead itself to another debate. It sort of really does lend itself to another debate, but we won't get into that. Fair enough.
No, you should not be selective for the media.
Okay, not at all.
Your fraternity, you must...
But we are just trying to keep the discussion focused to this. Fair enough. Yes, Mr. Hegde, you wanted to make a point.
Just 1 minute, Natasha. Natasha, just 1 minute.
You asked about the coincidence.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Hegde.
You asked about the coincidence. I am reminded about an old James Bond saying which said that the first time can be happenstance, the second time can be coincidence, but the third time is definitely enemy action. Every politician who is not part of the NDA or every businessman or media house which is not seen as favorable receives unwanted attention of the taxman, enforcement directorate, or any number of enforcement agencies in this country. I don't think the BJP should hide behind this. They should say, yes, if you are against us, we will throw the book at you. Let's be straight out here. If that is going to be the system in this country, where one government goes in and another government comes and prosecutes the previous government.
I don't agree.
And that does happen, and it's not unique to the BJP. The Congress has done the same thing too. The CBI was called a caged parrot when it was, when they were in power. So everyone does it.
When CBI filed case against Sri LK Advani, Murli Joshi, then they applauded CBI. Because now CBI is acting on behalf of doing factional politics within the BJP. Now when CBI is doing that, then CBI is acting on behalf. Look, these are the wild allegations. This should not be part of our democratic discourse.
That was
what I think, Mr. Hegde, I said, you are quoting James Bond. I don't know what James Bond said, but I know that this is an empirical fact. Kindly debate on the facts, not do the normal, what should be, what should not be. Whether the charges on Lalu Yadav are substantive or not substantive. This is the matter of debate. Right. You are hiding Lalu Yadav because it's a secular icon.
I don't think it's got anything to do with secularism versus communalism, Rakesh ji. I'm sorry. And as far as the case against LK Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi is concerned, that happened after the Supreme Court ordered, the charge sheet to be filed. So let's not go down that road. But Natasha, I do want to make 2 points. One is that you know, please punish all corrupt politicians. I think that is important, okay? But please do not make it appear as if you are being selective. If you're going to punish, I mean, Lalu Yadav is not
the same stick, basically.
That's right. Lalu Yadav is not the only politician who faces charges of corruption. There are a whole list of them. You know, how come we're not hearing about raids on all those politicians? So I think you know, a government must not be seen to be selective. It must seem to be fair. Secondly, I don't think raids like this and, you know, cases that go on for 10 years and so on is going to end corruption. You know, what you need is a far more systematic attack on black money, and you need to sort out this issue of funding elections, because I think that
still is at the root.
That is at the root of all this problem. So unless you do that, you know, this kind of corruption is going to continue.
Seconds. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay, because I have to get there.
Just 30 seconds. Okay. Look, it's not the case of electoral reform. Lalu Yadav's case of corruption, fraud, scam has nothing to do with
I think that's the larger picture.
Electoral reform. Every time you go to theorize the corruption, and that is the reason that these corrupt politicians gets a shade. Don't provide the shades to these politicians.
Okay.